Earlier, I spoke to Jim Walsh for more on the tensions between the two Koreas. He's an international security expert at MIT in Boston. I asked him what we could expect from the talks.
You know, I wouldn't expect a lot right away. I mean, I think they have very different demands that each side will find difficult to meet. The South Koreans want an apology and want North Korea to take responsibility for that incident along the DMZ in which a new mine had gone off and maimed soldiers. And the North Koreans want the South Koreans to stop with their broadcasts. And the South Koreans did that in response to the mining incident. So if they're going to have to navigate between those two things if they're going to get a resolution here. I do think that the North Koreans have been signaling, you know, always strong talk, but they've been signaling restraint. They didn't actually hit that tower they were aiming at. You know, they could have it's a fixed target. They could have taken it out. They didn't. And then they made it clear that they were happy to have discussions about this. So that would seem to point to the fact that they don't want to escalate right now.
Right. You mentioned, you know, the deadline has come and gone. Tensions are nothing new between these two. What's different this time, Jim?
Well, I think what you have is you have these big naval or military exercises that are an annual thing, an annual bit of ritual and theater where the U.S. and South Korea have the military exercises, and then North Korea complains about them bitterly and makes all sorts of threats, and then nothing ever happens. But in addition to that happening this year, we've been having all these incidents at the DMZ. I think that makes it different. I would say, and this is more speculative, you know, there were reports coming out of the DPRK that they are facing a major famine, even which was a shocker. Even official news sources in North Korea were saying they were facing the worst famine in 100 years. That may be a backdrop that is part of what's feeding into all this.
Is either leader, do you think, Jim, likely to back down at this point? And let's talk about Kim Jong-un specifically. Is he simply emulating his father here?
Well, you know, there are certain things that look like they're from the North Korean playbook, but it's also equally clear that the young Kim has deviated from things that his father's done. I could name any number of them. When they had a missile test when he first came to office, he said that it was a failure. His father would have never done that. This admission that they're facing a major famine, that's new and different. So I think some of it is the same and some of it is different. And he's the wild card in all this. We just don't know which direction he's going to go in. And let's remember that the North Korean, he's still in a process where there is a purge, where 70 officials have disappeared. And so there's a lot of activity within North Korea, which is, again, makes this a difficult puzzle to figure out.
Oh, Jim Walsh, thank you so much joining us from MIT. We appreciate your time and your expertise, definitely, in Boston.
Thank you.